STAKK Nation, welcome back to the channel.
Champions.
Listen, as you guys know, on this channel, one of our main missions is to try to just teach people about Bitcoin. Many years ago, I knew no better. I was just going about my days, trading my time for money, and that money was essentially deteriorating,
Getting destroyed.
getting debased for no reason. I had not found out about Bitcoin. Eventually, I found out about Bitcoin and I started putting my money into this thing. And there was just this electrifying energy about it. I kept learning more about it. We all get that aha moment. And then we realize how much of a monumental task Bitcoin is taking on. And then we enroll ourselves to push the mission of Bitcoin. Nobody's paying us for this shit.
Nope.
We don't care if you think that we're shilling a coin to you, man. You will not make it if you do not understand Bitcoin. I don't need to shill anything to you.
As a matter of fact, you don't even have to buy Bitcoin to build it.
Exactly. I have a job, okay? I don't need to come and take money from you on the internet. However, if you would like to learn some more things, I'm always down to provide some services. What do we have? Classes.
We provide,
Right?
we
Yeah.
provide free Bitcoin classes.
There we go.
Yeah, because Bitcoin is free.
Exactly.
We'll dedicate some time for you.
Exactly.
But we also teach you, this one is not free, how to store your own value on your own digital hard wallet,
Yes.
right?
Navigating the environment.
Navigating that environment.
Cold storage.
Getting
all of that
off,
stuff.
getting off the exchange. That you got to pay us for.
That is our time, ladies and gentlemen. But here is the thing. There are other people in this world that understand Bitcoin fully. Then they turn their back against it. You could say Coinbase is one of those.
Some people just like money.
Right?
Anything for money.
And some of them are snakes that cannot be trusted for a second. Let me introduce you again, or I say reintroduce you to Kevin O'Larry.
That's not hard though. That's not him. That's not hard. That was hilarious.
Pause. That was the Kevin O'Larry. Okay, that was the Kevin O'Larry. It wasn't. But I'm gonna hit play on that video, and then you will see Kevin O'Larry.
Hey,
And what you're gonna find shocking here is that I think Kevin O'Larry is about to give you and us better Bitcoin education than we may have ever given. I'm just saying that just to say that this was a great educational video or educational point or description from him. Not to say that his idea of Bitcoin is better than what, we are the best in the game. We do what we do. It is what it is. He's definitely not better at describing Bitcoin than we are. But the point here is, this guy is aware of what Bitcoin is, but the level of intellectual dishonesty is beyond what the devil can even handle. Let's play.
It's been a roller coaster ride for Bitcoin, the internet currency we've talked about on this program. If you follow it yesterday, you'll know it lost 60% of its value. This was just after it hit a record high of $266. Now, though, it's already starting to come back up again.
I just want to point out something real quick. 60% pullback back then. Almost another 60. Remember we did a video and we pointed out that this thing runs up massively. Then it has like a 60 to 80% pullback. Runs up massively again, 60 to 80% pullback. Where are we right now? Haven't you in that 60 to 80% pullback?
yes, sir.
Where are we going next is the question. All right, we'll play on.
Just 2 months ago, each Bitcoin was worth only $20. And now, as you heard, it's huge. All of that volatility in the value of Bitcoins has some economists wondering if there is a Bitcoin bubble and if Bitcoins
One
really
goes.
have a future as a currency. Kevin O'Leary is our business commentator and the chair of O'Leary Funds. We know he has a thought or two on that. Nice to see you in studio again this morning. Number, what's going on with this huge rise from $20 way up into the hundreds and then a precipitous fall yesterday?
Well, let's remember that until yesterday, most people around the world never heard of Bitcoin. Bitcoin, for those who don't know it, is basically virtual currency, the same that you get for blasting aliens in a video game, except now traded globally. You can buy Bitcoins with virtually any currency on Earth and convert back into any currency or buy goods and services
Well,
with
we
it.
talked about the story.
Do you see how this man is flowing through the description of Bitcoin right now?
It was wrong about the part that, it's just any coin you get out of playing a video game.
No, I mean early days. Give him that, right?
You mean
Whatever
it's
the
simple.
case,
Yeah.
right? He's trying to simplify it.
Yeah.
He had it in his account,
Yeah.
right? And he was making money on it. So it's incredible.
Story, what really got us talking about Bitcoin was the guy in Edmonton who was selling his house for the first time wanted 400,000 in Bitcoins.
So I think the best way to look at this is a proxy for the mistrust individuals have of central bankers. If you're willing to take Bitcoin as a currency, a virtual Barbie currency to me, it has no basis, no central banker, no hard asset behind it. But if you don't trust any other currency, this is where you go. So essentially what's happening here, Heather, people all around the world are saying, I've had it with my central banker. I don't trust politicians anymore. I'm going to trade with this currency with my computer and my cell phone.
Well, they did that. The reason the Bitcoin shot up was after Cyprus.
Are you noticing the education going on in the background of this video as it's playing?
Mm-hmm.
They're literally, they're giving you description of a decentralized transaction system in this prompter back here.
Yep.
The whole time while this is going on, somehow, some way, they had way better Bitcoin education in 2013 than they do right now.
Mm-hmm.
Shocking.
When they thought the government was going to get the hands on the money in the banks, so people turned to Bitcoins to keep them protected.
So I ignore everything till it gets to $1 billion of market cap.
Okay.
That happened recently with Bitcoin, well over $1 billion in value. So it's here to stay. When you've accumulated a virtual worth of $1 billion and people are willing to trade it and actually buy things with it, turn it back into hard assets. And here's the key, Heather. Owners of hard assets are willing to take Bitcoin. This is here to stay. That's what's going to happen.
All right. How about that, sir? What are your initial thoughts when you saw Mr. O'Leary, same guy, when you saw him there running his mouth like that, dropping Bitcoin knowledge like it's nothing? What were your thoughts on that?
I mean, he made it clear that folks are frustrated with central banks.
Yes.
He knows that money itself is broken, and Bitcoin is here to solve it.
Yes.
His simplification or oversimplification is a little bit concerning, but hey, whatever gets the word out there.
Okay.
And the fact that the valuation went over $1 billion so quickly caught his eye, right? He's an investor, right? It's telling you that it's about this game.
Yeah. So he spent time, he researched it. He's like, hey, this is it, and I'm in.
Yep.
Right. Well,
and
let me bring you forward then to 2017, thereabouts.
4 years later.
Yes, somewhere there. Given that this man had Bitcoin when we were talking about it was ranging between $20 and 100 and something, okay, he's still holding this money. So one way or another, he's either in a gain or a loss. But let's look at where Bitcoin is at in 2017 and what he has to say about the same Bitcoin. All right, here we go.
The cryptocurrency topping 8,000 for the first time since July. There are several potential explanations for this rally, including positive sentiment around crypto conventions in New York this week, a potential safe haven from the U.S.-China trade war, and greater institutional support. For example, reports earlier this month said Facebook is building a crypto-based payment system. Traders are also saying that Chinese buyers were using Bitcoin to circumvent the country's capital controls on the yuan. So Chinese investors in China trying to get their money out.
Why is Facebook always trying to copy? Why don't you just adopt Bitcoin? Why was it trying to create Libra?
Yeah.
That is where the old Ethereum and all these other altcoins are coming from. It's like...
I would not be surprised if Zuckerberg was mentored by someone by Buffett, or if he finds Buffett as someone to emulate, because it seems to me that is a sort of mindset where you come up with something great one time, or you do like this big bang, make your money, and then you just become so complacent and then just default to the method of let them do it, and then we can try to buy them out or outdo them at what they did.
Create a copy of it.
Exactly, right? And so that's the type of stuff that keeps you running behind. That's the type of stuff that makes you miss investments like Tesla and all these other things that are incredible. That's the type of stuff that makes you have to buy Instagram out later on down the line because you don't have any innovation coming through. Facebook is dead. Secondly, I also want to point out, notice they said something about evading sanctions with Bitcoin. So this has already been prominent way back then, before we were talking about digital yuan. At this point in time now, given that Kevin O'Leary had bought coins back then and is now stood at $8,000, this man is massively up.
$20 to $8,000?
You're massively up. And the guy is extremely, I mean, he was already rich back then.
Yeah.
Right. Well, let's see what he has to say.
Using Bitcoin as the vehicle, and that's supposedly one explanation for much more on this later in the show.
Of Bitcoin. Once you put your money into Bitcoin, you hear people say that they are challenged to sometimes sell.
Really?
To sell in volume.
Oh, in volume.
In volume.
Try and do a transaction over $100,000 with Bitcoin. I tried to do some real estate in Switzerland with it once. It is a useless currency. It is a useless currency. That's what I believe. I mean, look, I'm not, you know, I realize people have different opinions, but to me, it's garbage. Because you can't,
Is it doo-doo? I mean,
you
go all the
can't
way.
get in and out of it in large amounts. And everybody says, yes, you can. But what happens is the receiver wants some guarantee. Let's say you want to buy a piece of real estate for $10 million in Switzerland.
Let's just say.
Let's just say.
Yeah.
And they don't want to use the traditional transfer system, all right? Now, which is illegal, by the way, because you have to disclose why you're transferring $10 million over to Switzerland. They want to guarantee that the value comes back to U.S. currency at 10. You have to somehow hedge the risk of Bitcoin. That means it's not a real currency. That means the receiver.
Same guy.
How quickly it changed. But you know what's funny though?
Yeah.
Real people that understand Bitcoin are not trying
I
to
wanna
exit
understand.
Bitcoin into fiat.
Okay.
You transact Bitcoin to Bitcoin, Bitcoin value to value, value to service, whatever that is. If you're trying to pull your Bitcoin, it's supposed to be your currency system, into a fiat system, which is what you're running away from, it does not make any sense.
Here's the thing. Everything that he just said there was absolute bullshit. It was a lie. Even starting from the liquidity issues, okay? In 2013, what did he say? If it does not reach $1 billion in market cap,
It doesn't get into it.
he does not get into it. He's trying to buy a piece of real estate in Switzerland. How much is the real estate? Is it $1 billion?
Nope.
Okay. How can you not get out?
No, as a matter of fact, at the time, Switzerland was not a Bitcoin.
No, here's the thing. The problem is not about Switzerland. It's a matter of, can you move your Bitcoin into fiat? Even though moving your Bitcoin into fiat is a losing proposition.
Yep.
Fine. That's a different conversation. But how can you not remove $10 million out of something that has over $1 billion in liquidity?
True that.
It's all lies.
I mean, they just did it recently with the old FTX Voyager
Right?
debacle.
The level of intellectual dishonesty with this guy, you don't even know if you're looking at a human being or the devil himself.
The government is selling it.
It
If
is
the
shocking.
government can do it. You can do it.
You can sell it. They dump it all the time to liquidate people.
Yep.
So it's all garbage. Now, the same person who thought Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies was garbage, right? Now we fast forward to some more recent times. I think it's 2020, FTX era,
Yep.
right? Where he's now all of a sudden king of crypto, pushing it. Came over to the Bitcoin conference, didn't he? Let's hear what he has to say.
All right. We saw him riding on the street on a bike.
Exactly. Yeah, I saw him on a bicycle back then. Yeah, so we find out he's pushing crypto. Let's find out why he's pushing the crypto, right? So here we go. I think I hit the wrong button there.
I want to understand how much money you lost in the context, but I also want to understand how the investment and this ambassadorship happened at the time that it happened. You did disclose it, but I want to understand how you went from calling crypto garbage.
Sorry to keep pausing.
Call them out.
Sorry to keep pausing this, but I feel like Ross is always in the most uncomfortable interviews ever, and I love it. I mean, I feel like he's actually one of the people who's actually trying to do the hard work, and so he puts himself in these uncomfortable situations all the time. I feel like every time I see him interviewing someone, it's always an uncomfortable topic. But let's push on.
At one point, as you know, to deciding that this was something that you were going to stand behind.
Yes, I recall that conversation, calling it garbage, right here on this show in 2017. That was a time when a New York hotel was being tokenized here, and I was looking at that, and the regulator let me know they were not happy with that idea. And that's when I
want to point out one thing there. A regulator let him know that they were not happy with the idea.
He knows the regulator. Who's the regulator?
This is inside information.
New
So
York
if you
City.
know that the regulator is not happy with it, then now you can already determine before the rest of us that there will be action coming against this thing because regulators do not like it.
Kevin does a lot of backdoor dealings, man.
You're snitching on yourself, sir. This is insider trading, really, if you look at it.
It is.
Okay? So,
You're having conversations with a regulator.
exactly. We'll push on.
Oh, does that mean was he one of those guys that put a shot on Bitcoin before the Binance announcement came out?
You're catching, sir. You're catching. Listen, they are the ones influencing the regulators. If a regulator has time to come and tell you we don't like that, right? You have time to influence that same regulator to like that same thing.
I make money off of that decision.
Okay. Right? So, and he's the one, he's always trying to come across like I'm a compliance guy. yeah, you're using compliance as your main shield because you have the regulators in your pocket. So you're going to use this vehicle. You're going to use this tool to the maximum
money.
of your ability to make this thing run in your favor. This guy, remember, this man bought Bitcoin at $20.
Yep.
He has the money to pay regulators.
Oh, easy.
Okay. We just saw a video from 2013, right?
2013.
Stepped away from this because clearly the regulatory environment was not prepared. Then facts changed. I saw the Canadians issue the first ETF with Bitcoin is underlying, Ethereum, then Switzerland opened up, then Australia opened up. And then I said, wait a second, world's changing, I got to be an investor. And that started my journey. I'm an investor in the largest regulated exchange in Canada called WonderFi. The wallets are called BitBuy. We're regulated by the OSC. I have my accounts up there. Right. But I felt that getting involved when I was approached with Sam Bankman-Fried, that I could get an inside seat on what was considered then. And I got to tell you, the institutional interest.
Inside six.
Thank you. You picked that one up, right? He's used to getting inside seats. I mean, like, how
That's what it pays for.
Yeah. So if you cannot get inside seat on Binance, what do?
Go to your regulators.
Yeah, tear them down.
In FTX on the U.S. equity was unbelievable. The amount of people that approached me saying, how do I get a piece of this deal? And I said at that time, I am a paid spokesperson. I cannot bring you as an LP. Not a single dollar that I lost is anybody else's money except mine. That's important for me because that's an issue.
How much were you paid?
Total deal was just under $15 million, all in, including a bunch of agents that I had to pay because I needed SAG after release to be able to do commercials for it, and when I did that. I put about $9.7 million into crypto. I think that's what I've lost. It's all at zero. I don't know because my account got scraped a couple of weeks ago. All the data, all the coins, everything. So then I lost the money I invested in the equity as well. Those are zeros too. It was not a good investment, Andrew. Okay, I don't make great investments all the time. Luckily, I make more good ones than bad ones. But that was a bad one.
Because
let me ask you this.
That is where he admits
that is using regulators
Yes.
to fight people. And
Right.
then they use regulators and get deals with people so that you can show them that they can get you in with the regulators.
right, and that's where he also admits. We also find out that he's nothing short of a, how would you say?
Go for.
You throw some money at him and he will dance. Let's put it that way, right? $15 million will get this man to change his mind.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, for $15 million, I'm changing my mind. But
Not for Bitcoin.
But it's probably not going to be on something like this that is going to affect the globe, But at the same time, I guess you never know until you know.
I've been offered $1 million to walk away and never did. I didn't take the money.
Look at that. Yeah, it's also about your morals, man. Your moral compass, your values. Because you could take that money and you start dying inside. Let me remind you, man. A lot of people who win the lottery end up
Back broke.
Or taking themselves.
Yep.
A lot of people get wealthy, still end up taking themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So money is not really a solution.
No, it's not. Nope.
Yeah. But when this happened, we found out that this man took this 15 mil for this deal.
Mm-hmm.
This is when this thing starts to unravel with the quickness. Because CZ, CEO of Binance, hops on Twitter and puts this man on full blast. It seems 15 million not only changed Kevin O'Leary's mind about crypto, it also made him align himself with a fraudster. Is he seriously defending SBF? 11-piece threat. Okay? The CEO of Binance blasted this man on Twitter. The war was on. Shows everything that they've left when they exited from FTX ahead of time.
Yep.
He talks about how FTX is spending all this money on the stadium, Super Bowl ads, all of these things. And FTX is outspending Binance,
which is 10 times
like
bigger
1
than
to 10.
Yep.
Exactly. And Binance is literally. And so, with all of this, then it was time for Kevin O'Leary to respond. I guess, right? And I mean, this thing went on and on forever. He says, "You don't have to be a genius to know something doesn't smell right at FTX. They were 1/10 our size, yet outspent us 100 to 1 on marketing and partnerships. fancy parties in the Bahamas, trips across the globe, and mansions for all of their senior staff and his parents. That is insane.
Notice that whole scam situation there
Yeah,
was not the technology.
it was not the people. It was the people. It was definitely the people, not the technology.
So Calvin omitted the fact that
This is CZ straight up attacking Kevin O'Leary as well on what was this on? This was on Squawkbox, was it? Some news channel. I forgot what that was. CNBC.
Yep.
Yeah. So here we go.
no records. That's not a problem to him. So he just want to talk to Sam and believe whatever Sam says. He doesn't want to look at the records. And if you look, and he wants to omit all the small spendings, $50 million, $200 million. $200 million is small spending. That's very convenient. He says he didn't know that Binance was a shareholder of FTX. So he invested in FTX without looking at the cap table. But he was very specific in the way he counts for a transaction 2 years ago. So that's kind of contradictory. So I think Calvin's a liar. So I think he's lying about a bunch of stuff. So that's his problem. To us, we want to be transparent.
So that video, by the way, was from Finimis YouTube channel there. Your thoughts on this so far, Douglas?
I was gonna say this in the last video that we recorded.
Yeah.
And
Why do you believe FTX?
I just feel like this is the problem with retail investors. This is the problem in the cryptocurrency, is that you have the SEC, the current powers to be fighting your innovation and your technology, and instead of you having the same level of discipline to sit down and strategize, how you exit the corruption out of your system, self-regulate.
Yes.
You are basically here
trying to outsmart each other on Twitter. Getting into arguments on Twitter.
And Kevin O'Leary actually needs to be one of those people that exit the system.
Kevin O'Leary,
listen, he's just in there for the money, really. He's not in there for the innovation.
Kevin O'Leary played Bitcoiners. He played them hard. Like, he had them bent over so hard, okay? Over that Bitcoin, Miami.
They were worshiping
let's go towards the regulations. Let's go towards regulations. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Okay?
It should have never been on stage.
When these people cannot even come together and organize around a simple idea, okay? When you hop into a Bitcoin space to speak about serious matters and people want to get bent out of shape that your logo looks like an NFT, you guys are idiots. Have you not seen a JPEG before? Have you not seen a picture before you heard about NFTs? Literally, these people all shut down in a Twitter space because they believe that the STAKK logo looked like an NFT, and so they will not talk to us. How are you going to organize and come against people like this who are extremely tactical, man, with a plan?
I find it quite interesting that the Bitcoin Miami or Bitcoin community will allow somebody that is invested in FTX, a company that believes that Bitcoin cannot be.
Oh, yeah, to come.
Bitcoin cannot be a currency.
And you know, I wonder, did Kevin O'Leary pay them to come there and talk about FTX? Or do you think that Bitcoin 23 actually paid him to show up there?
It's about time you guys need to stop all of this mess.
Because it seems like either way that deal goes, Bitcoin 23 still got wrecked.
Yep.
They were the losing end of that deal. Listen, we love Bitcoin, but
people got work to do.
Bitcoin is not a whatever people want to.
Can be bought out.
Yeah, it's not a social group. It's not a fan club.
Yeah.
A frat group, if you will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's bigger than all of us. So, yeah, take that as you will for whatever it's worth. Now it's time for Kevin O'Leary to punch back.
It's failed.
I have an opinion. I don't have the records. Here it is. After my accounts were stripped of all of their assets and all of the accounting and trade information, I couldn't get answers from any of the executives in the firm, so I simply called Sam Bankman-Fried and said, "Where is the money, Sam?" He said he had been clearing price with other buyers, and you do the transaction. In my view, my personal opinion, these two behemoths that own the unregulated market together and grew these incredible businesses in terms of growth were at war with each other. And one put the other out of business intentionally. Now, maybe there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe there's nothing wrong with love and war. But Binance is a massive, unregulated global monopoly now. They put FTX out of business. Now, lots of other reasons, I'm sure, but that's my personal opinion.
And his personal opinion can be used for enforcement too.
Yes, that's when you see this war against Binance.
Yeah, you have to question it.
You have to question it. This guy has gone to use his tools, his bodies, the regulators, to go to war with Binance.
No credibility. These
if you cannot win, nobody else can win.
Yeah.
So if you're exiting and selling your Bitcoin thinking Bitcoin is over, you need to realize that this is not Bitcoin issue.
Yeah.
This is the industry fighting itself instead of coming together to fight the real fight.
Exactly.
Waste of time.
Total waste of time.
So right now,
that's a waste of time. And it's just strange to me because, you know, these are the same things that these people say they set out to tackle. But at the moment when these opportunities present themselves, man, they totally just piss the bed. Look, O'Leary is still, you know, it crazy thing is after he went to Congress and testified there, he just went on a tour to just blast Binance. And so now you also have to question yourself, the current events that are unfolding, is it not part of the same mission to revenge, right? Now, let's listen to this.
Take, for example, BNB is $64 billion of market cap. The only reason to own that token on Binance is to get a discount on trading fees. What's the intrinsic value of that token? Nothing. It doesn't give you access to the equity of the company. Now, if you go look at the wallets, there's only 2 wallets that have 97% of all of those tokens. I wonder who owns those.
Yeah, Binance owns them. It's a company. Where else is if you're putting your money on an exchange, where are they going to store it? In freaking outer intergalactic space dust shit? Like, come on, it's in the wallet, and we can all see the wallet, and it's there.
In the bank, like FTX, Alameda.
In the bank.
No, it's blockchain technology. Yeah. It's supposed to be in the wallet.
You're supposed to be in the wallet. You're supposed to be able to see the reserves. That's what they call the reserves, right? That's how everybody can go and check what is happening there. Yeah, it belongs to Binance, smartass. Jesus Christ, man.
The war on Binance is fully supported by Kevin O'Leary. He doesn't care about you, man.
This is a war, man. It has nothing to do with regulators. It's just a bunch of people. It's a dick swinging contest, isn't it? Now, here we are.
Elephants fights, the grass suffer.
Exactly.
We're all suffering for this world of some of the suckers.
Now, this is the final one here that we can wrap up this video, man.
Yeah, it's getting too long.
Yeah, we can really see that this guy is a sham. The whole thing is a sham. You know, total garbage people, right? So here we are, current day.
And I'm not pulling any punches. If he was working for me, I'd fire him. I'd get somebody else.
You're talking about the head of Coinbase.
Yes, it's over. It's so over. It's all.
Do you think he went to do a deal with the head of Coinbase, and the head of Coinbase was like, nah?
No, he did it. Yeah. He did not get it from Coinbase, so he went to FTX, and he got the deal from FTX.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like right now, he's probably bashing Coinbase right now because Coinbase did not let him in. Because Binance did not let him in.
You have to remember, these VCs try to buy companies and take over those companies, eventually kick out the CEOs. Yeah. That is what they did to Twitter. That is what they did to Jack Ma. So that's what they tried to do. Like, this guy is...
these guys are savages, man.
He has the regulators in his pockets.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so if he can take over, then they can just build it for them. And then, just like they've been saying on Twitter all over the space, is Wall Street going to take over crypto?
Yeah.
That is the agenda.
Yeah. No wonder, there's no wonder he's always singing about crypto regulators all the time. I've not seen anyone else that sings about regulators like this guy, man.
Because the regulators are his buddies.
It's his thing.
Almost getting boring. Gensler has told him countless times, no, 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 and no. And everybody hears it except him.
Wait,
so maybe what you do...
The same Gensler approved Coinbase to be on the stock market. The same Gensler approved the ETF.
Exactly. They messed up. Now, furthermore, if Gensler is saying no to Coinbase, why does it bother Kevin O'Leary so much?
It's not even your money.
Yeah. That tells you there's something going on in the background.
And you thank him for his great work as a pioneer.
You're supposed to do that if you want something done in Washington.
Well, you take him out behind the barn and you make the swap. You get a new CEO at Coinbase to go back in there and say, let's make a deal. Because look at it this way. If you could walk in right now and say, okay, Gensler, you win. let's regulate this, let's call it a security, you'd get $1 trillion worth of assets for an allocation of just 3%.
Why are you running towards the fire when you don't have to?
No, because it's going to make money out of the end of it, right? Again, backdoor dealings. Let me go talk to Gary Gensler, my friend. Let's get this thing to become security, right?
Yeah.
Your Coinbase, come along. Let's make it happen. So if this happens, we all making money because I can put a bet at the end, put a huge call, become a trillionaire at the end of the day. Because we all know DeFi makes a ton of money.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest space in cryptocurrencies right now.
Yes.
Bigger than banks.
And that's the thing, like, it's doing that, and it should have its place in the space if it so becomes on merit for the value that it provides, right? When they decided to put Coinbase on the stock exchange, right? If they put it on there because they thought they were doing a favor for him, or they had some backdoor deals they were going to pull off, they probably clearly they played themselves. But when a company is being publicly traded, or it makes it to that status, it has to be on merit, not because you went and made backdoor deals and dealings like that to get it to where it needs to be. That's how you know your thing is falling apart. It's in shams right now.
And the SEC is here saying they are
Yes.
here to protect investors. No,
Right.
you're here to make deals.
And he's teetering right there on the line of insider trading, which he's already admitted to it possibly.
He did
but,
it again.
Right? But the moment Elon Musk sniffs anything, they're on his neck. Garbage. This guy should be in prison, man.
This guy should be
Yeah,
investigated.
investigated. I already said he needs to be in prison. I already skipped the investigation.
It's sovereign
needs to
wealth.
be
You
investigated
could
and
open the
proven,
spigots.
yeah,
You could
yeah.
really make this industry take off and own it domestically. But read the tea leaves, read the room, listen, read Gensler's lips. The answer is no. And I'm not...
Why is he saying no for Gensler? Yeah. Listen, Mr. O'Leary, it is very clear that you're a scam, man. Clown activity. Don't sue me, though. I know you're an extremely rich guy. It is what it is. Maybe we can take some lessons from you. Final thoughts, though, below, before we close this one. Because I think that this one, okay, the evidence there speaks for itself, right? So it's really to interpret it as you will.
I mean, we're not here trying to support Binance or Coinbase. I mean, but we did get a lot of education from Coinbase back in the day. But they were all shooting you towards the altcoins.
Yeah,
though.
they were.
Binance made it so easy to buy Bitcoin and move it to your private wallet. I really don't think the problem here is Binance. I think it's just a bunch of businessmen.
Yeah, it's people who are not getting things their way.
Yeah. And they're coming after Binance heavily. I just think it's another phase. I do hope that America is still the America that we all believe in.
Something I want to point out real quick, because you did say with Binance, you hope Binance makes it through this. In those tweets that CZ was making out there, and he said Binance, Binance is or Binance was like what 1/10, or FTX was like 1/10 of what
very
the size of
transparent.
FTX.
Yeah.
If you look at it in that scale, clearly Binance is absolutely massive,
Able to survive this, hopefully.
and likely able to survive this. And Binance was like one of those exchanges that came on like very early on, alongside Tether, right? As long as Tether is not around, and we see all the FUD that is always being thrown at Tether. But Tether, like Binance, for some reason, this is just my observations, no matter how anyone looks at it. These are the two entities that seem to have just been chugging along no matter what happens.
Tether has a Jewish power behind it where you can touch that.
Okay.
Let's not go
It's
there.
chugging along, man, no matter what these people say. So everyone is on the internet trying to sound like we know what is going on. Everybody wants to sound right. I don't care. This is the facts that we're looking at right here, man. And that's what I'm using to build my direction on these things.
I'll say one last thing.
Yes,
though.
please go, man. Yeah.
Instead of the back and forth, be like that other video we just recorded. Create a committee.
Yeah.
Strategize. Work together. This war here is nonsense.
Yes. it
Do
really
not
is.
allow these Trojan horses into your space. There is a bigger war to be fought. Start doing that on your Twitter spaces. Not all this back and forth, all this battling one another.
Yeah, I'm tired of yelling with
Waste
people
of
on
time.
Twitter. It's such garbage, man.
Waste of
You know?
time.
It's not taking us anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, it's always incredible. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for checking out our videos. Please like the videos, subscribe to the channel.
Be a champion.
Okay.
Click on it.
Yes, click on it. Share the video, man. Let us cross some numbers. Let's crush some numbers, man. We want to be able to get this message out to as many people as possible.
We want to be able to be on CNBC and tell y'all about this.
We are the Bitcoin army. Let's do this thing. I would love to get on CNBC, man. I will go up on someone. I feel like, listen, do not interrupt me. I'm talking. we'll go to commercial break right away. Well, please subscribe to the channel STAKK. We are also on Twitter, STAKKFin. Skip those two in the middle if you want. It's not really good for your soul. And we're also on Spotify, STAKK. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, raise and out.